In a village nestled between rolling hills and whispering streams, there lived a humble carpet weaver named Lamb. His hands, though calloused and tired, danced across the loom from the first light of dawn until the last glimmer of dusk. He wove vibrant dreams for others' carpets rich with color, and yet his own small house stood empty, a quiet echo of his poverty. But Lamb's spirit was far from empty. It was filled with a kindness as rich and colorful as the threads he worked with. He was the first to lend a hand, to share his meager meal, or to offer a comforting word to a neighbor in need. His generosity was a quiet, steady flame in the heart of the village. One evening, exhaustion finally claimed him, and Lamb drifted to sleep beside his faithful loom. In the hazy world of dreams, a figure of light appeared, a fairy with wings like spun moonlight. Her voice was like wind chimes. "Lamb," she said gently, "your life of hard work and selfless kindness has not gone unnoticed. I grant you 3 wishes. Use them with care, for they hold the power to shape your destiny." Lamb awoke with a start, the fairy's words still echoing in his ears. Was it just a dream? A sense of wonder and disbelief washed over him. But as he sat there, the gnawing hunger in his belly reminded him of his daily struggle. He thought long and hard, his heart pounding with a mix of hope and trepidation. He had the power to change everything. Finally, he whispered his first wish into the quiet morning air. "I wish," he said, his voice trembling slightly, "to have enough food so that I and anyone who visits my home will never know the ache of hunger again." The next morning, a miracle greeted him. His simple wooden table, usually bare, was laden with an incredible feast: warm bread, savory stews, and fresh fruits. From that day forward, his pantry was always full, and his door was always open to share his newfound bounty. Days turned into weeks, and Lamb's life was transformed. He was no longer hungry, but his weaver's hands still yearned to create. He looked at his loom, the silent companion of his life, and a new desire sparked within him. He knew what his second wish must be. "I wish," he declared with a newfound confidence, "to weave the most beautiful, most magnificent carpet the world has ever seen." A magical energy surged through him. His fingers flew across the threads with a speed and grace he'd never known. The colors seemed to come alive, blending and swirling into patterns that shimmered like captured sunlight and glowed like the evening stars. He poured his heart, his dreams, and his gratitude into every knot and every thread. The result was a masterpiece, a carpet so breathtaking it seemed to hold the very beauty of the world within its fibers. Word of Lamb's incredible creation spread like wildfire, traveling from his small village all the way to the gilded gates of the royal palace. Soon a royal summons arrived. The king himself wished to see this legendary carpet. With a nervous heart, Lamb presented his work. The entire court gasped. The king, a man who had seen all the wonders of the world, was speechless. "This is not merely a carpet," the king finally announced, his voice filled with awe. "It is a work of art, a treasure. Lamb, your skill is unparalleled. I hereby name you the Royal Weaver." Lamb was brought to live in the palace, a world of unimaginable comfort and luxury. He had fine clothes, a soft bed, and the respect of the entire kingdom. He was no longer the poor weaver shivering in a cold hut. Yet, amidst the splendor of the palace, Lamb's thoughts often drifted back to his village. He remembered the faces of his friends, the shared laughter, the helping hands that had supported him when he had nothing. He saw their worn-out clothes and imagined their struggles during the cold winters. He realized that his own happiness felt incomplete while his community still suffered. He still had one wish left. Standing in his luxurious chambers, surrounded by silk and gold, Lamb closed his eyes and made his final, most important wish. "I wish," he said, his voice clear and strong, "that every family in my village, especially the poorest among them, will have warm clothes to wear and enough food to fill their bellies. May they never know the cold and hunger that I once did." In that very instant, a quiet miracle unfolded back in his village. Warm, beautifully woven blankets appeared on every bed. Baskets overflowing with rice and fresh vegetables materialized in every kitchen. A wave of joy and disbelief swept through the humble homes. The villagers celebrated, their hearts filled with gratitude for the anonymous blessing, never suspecting it was their kind-hearted Lamb who was behind it. As the cheers echoed in the village, the fairy appeared before Lamb one last time, her smile as bright as 1,000 stars. "Lamb," she said, her voice filled with warmth and pride. "You received 3 wishes. You used them for sustenance, for passion, and finally, for others. You have learned that the greatest wealth is not what you keep for yourself, but what you give away. This is the truest wisdom of all." Lamb continued his life as the royal weaver, creating beautiful carpets for the king. But his heart forever remained in his small village. He used his position to ensure his people were always cared for, proving that a generous spirit is the most beautiful thing one can ever weave. And so, the story of the weaver's wish is told to this day, a timeless reminder of the power of kindness, the importance of gratitude, and the profound beauty of a selfless heart. Thank you so much for joining me for this story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more tales that warm the heart. Until next time, take care.